Season 2 of DTBY's community podcast hosted by the CYC.
We are a movement dedicated to inspiring, mentoring, and building the leadership qualities of tomorrow's leaders.
Last season, our focus was promoting inclusivity and raising awareness about organizations making a difference in our community.
Season, we're focusing on individuals who are creating impact on the lives of youth.
Before we introduce this episode's guest, we would first like to offer a land acknowledgement.
Although this gathering is virtual, we recognize that DTBY convenes on the treaty lands of the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation and the traditional territory of many nations, including the Haudenosaunee and the Huron-Wendat peoples, also serving as home to many diverse First Nations, Inuit, and Métis peoples.
At the Dare to Be Youth charity, we are proud to promote the spirit of helping, sharing, and caring for our neighbors without the expectation that has been exemplified by each of these nations as the first peoples of this land for thousands of years. And we wish to acknowledge our gratitude for the ongoing opportunity to live, work, and build community on this land.
It is our collective responsibility to care for each other, to care for these lands. And it is past time to turn reflection into action. We challenge ourselves and everyone here today to commit to one tangible next step to move this work forward.
Welcome back to DTBY's community podcast and welcome to the 8th episode of our new season. My name is Ellis and I will be the host for this episode alongside Michaela. On behalf of DTBY and the rest of the CYC, it is our pleasure to welcome Marc, the new CEO of the Halton Learning Foundation, which is really an amazing community organization who will be joining us at DTBY's Community Resource Fair on November 5th at Youth Inspire Community Day. Thank you so much for joining us today, Marc.
Yeah, my pleasure. Happy to be chatting with you.
So to start, can you tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do at the Halton Learning Foundation?
Sure. Yeah. I mean, I'm a husband, a father, a son, a brother. We own a dog. Love taking our dog for a walk every day. I'm a soccer player. I love to go cycling. I'm a community volunteer. And as you mentioned before, I'm the new CEO of the Halton Learning Foundation. I started in April of this year. And we know that poverty remains a powerful factor in whether a student succeeds in school, and success in school is a powerful factor for success in life. And so we help at the Halton Learning Foundation. We help students in the Halton District School Board with financial barriers to learning, to help them to succeed in school, and which hopefully helps them to be successful in life. And so there are three areas that we support students, and one is the eliminating barriers, which really helps with basic needs, food and clothing and personal hygiene items, those types of things, and school activities. Like there's a lot of school activities that have a fee, so it might be a sports team fee or school trip fee. So that's one area. The second area we help is school engagement grants. And so we help schools fund projects that focus on supporting mental health. So 4 areas: mental health, Indigenous awareness, equity, inclusion, and learning and achievement. And then the third area that we help out with, so eliminating barriers, school engagement grants. And the third area is post-secondary scholarships, so that HDSB graduates can have the opportunity to continue on this journey of learning and this journey that hopefully is leading towards being successful in life.
It's great to hear that you really do target like every single unique aspect that others might not see when it comes to like child poverty and education. And it's really great to see you're so passionate about it. So that leads us to our next question, which is, how did HLF really get involved with DTBY?
Yeah, my understanding is that my predecessor, Leslie Mansfield, met Shannon Tobin a number of years ago, I think about 6 years ago, and they started talking about their shared passion to support youth and how they can work together to help young people to be successful. And then over the years, HLF and DTBY have partnered in a few different ways to ensure that students in our community have both the financial support and access to opportunities that help build confidence and leadership skills. And I'm thrilled that we're continuing to be involved with this partnership.
Yeah, we definitely are too. Leslie was on last season of the podcast and she's great. And now it's great to have you here and to keep working with your organization because a lot of value we can bring to each other. So, for our next question, why do you support our mission of empowering youth and the next generation of leaders?
Yeah, so I mean, my entire career has really been focused around helping children and youth to be successful, and maybe a little bit of a cliche saying, but really young people are our future. I truly do believe that. And I've had the opportunity to meet so many amazing youth who they just blow me away with the leadership skills and the passion that they have for making our community a better place. And so by supporting and inspiring young people to make a positive difference in our communities, we can help create a better community and a better world. In this line of work, it can be really challenging to directly see the personal impact that our efforts have. And however, from time to time, you do get that opportunity to see the impact you're having. And that's what hooks you in and keeps you wanting to continue to make an impact. And I'm going to share a quick story with you. So my experience, I do have some experience working at the YMCA, and a number of years ago, I was working at the YMCA in Flamborough, and I was managing the child and youth programs there. And one of the programs we ran was a leadership development, volunteer development program called Leader Corps. And there was a young man he was probably about 12 years old, 12 or 13 at the time, started coming out. And we would meet Friday nights, and then they'd have an opportunity to volunteer in programs and help with birthday parties and all sorts of great opportunities to develop those leadership skills. And he did such a great job that I hired him on as a staff person. So a couple of years later, and again excelled. Did a really great job. Parents were asking for him to be their leader in for their kid's birthday party, which is amazing. And so a couple of years after that, I was actually talking to mom, who was a member at the Y as well, and she says, Marc, you helped to raise my son. And I wasn't entirely sure what to make of that. And so she went on to explain that before her son was involved in Leader Corps and volunteering and as a staff person at the Y, he was at the school principal's office several times a week. He was struggling at school, he was struggling at home. And she says, Marc, you as a mentor have impacted, I'm not going to say his name, but impacted her son so much that he started to, succeed in school. He was doing so much better at home. And, he's, I've maintained contact with the mom a little bit from time to time. And she says, he's gone on to post-secondary, and actually he has a young family now. And so it's those that feedback that you hear from not very often, but from time to time, that really kind of hooks you. And that's why I think it's so important to support DTBY's mission of empowering youth.
That's so inspiring to hear. I really love how when you were telling the story, it was like you were taking us through the journey, and it was really inspiring to hear. So, as you know, this year we will be hosting our third annual Community Day Summit on November 5th, with this year's theme being Impact. We wanted to ask you what experiences have impacted the person you are today.
So, as with many people, we experience challenges, and we have positive experiences that really do shape and impact who we are as human beings. And I've been very fortunate in having families and teachers and coaches, friends, colleagues, workplaces who have had a positive influence on my life. And on the other side, those same groups, there have been challenging situations with family and teachers and coaches and friends and colleagues and workplaces. And so, I look at these as opportunities to learn, to grow, to build resilience. And I think it really does depend on your mindset, on your willingness to keep learning and to keep growing, and who do you surround yourself with? We all need people who support us and our passions, and support what we want to learn and how we want to grow. And really, I was very fortunate to have this as part of my life. Not exclusively. Like I said, there were a number of challenges, but there were a significant number of people in my life that had a positive influence on who I am as a person today.
Mhm. And I know you shared that lovely little anecdote about that young boy who participated in that Leader Core program and then made his way up to be an event staff. But are there any other reasons you could think of that stand out of why you are actively continuing to choose to make an impact today?
Yeah, and like I said, as I said before, I have been very fortunate, in the work and the volunteer career that I've had, and I hope that it's had a positive impact on children and youth, and it's an important part of who I am to help others, and I very much enjoy that. Um, in a previous role before starting at HLF, I had the opportunity to take on some co-op students, not all at the same time, but one student at a time, but several of them. And there was one young lady. So the co-op teacher had approached me and said, "Hey, Marc, this person they need some help." And she was having some challenges. She was not necessarily most engaged, wasn't necessarily sort of high achieving co-op student. I had other students that were very high achieving, but we worked with her, and our approach was to helping her to be successful. My approach and the co-op teacher's approach, and by the end of it, she was being more successful. She was when she first started, she was not very smiley. I guess is the way of putting it. But towards the end, she was smiling. She was more engaged, and upon reflection, that she may not have been the highest achiever of the co-op students I'd had, but she was the one who needed that experience the most. And so that's why I'm choosing to make an impact, because there are youth who need someone who believes in them, and someone who can help them to learn and grow, and to be resilient, and to be successful.
Wow, honestly, I have no words. Like, that's so inspiring. It's definitely like what you said about how she wasn't the one who necessarily like was the most high achieving, but the one who needed it the most. That I think that does apply to many students today. So we wanted to ask you in terms of like your own opinion, but also just considering HLF's mission, what is the importance of positively impacting the lives of young people?
Yeah, I think, as I mentioned earlier, we all need people in our lives that are a positive influence, and that have a positive impact on how we learn and grow, how we build resilience and how we work towards being successful. And I firmly believe that when young people have this opportunity, they're given that opportunity, they are more likely to be successful in school. And if you're more successful in school, you're more likely to be successful in life as human beings. And success, it doesn't necessarily mean high grades or a high paying job. To me, success is, are you happy and healthy? Do you have people in your life that you love and care about it, and they love and care about you? And, are you contributing back to the community do you live in? Do you have a purpose? It's something that you're passionate about. And so I think if we can, help young people, impact young people in that regard, then I think we're doing okay. And then, that's why it's important for me to have or try to have an impact on young people.
I 100% agree. I think a lot of people, when they think about like making an impact, they kind of get caught up in like what they could do on like a wide scale. But it really is important to positively impact like the people around you, because just impacting one person's life in a small way could really change their whole world. So I really like how the Halton Learning Foundation is really focused on like connecting with individuals and creating like a better life and experience for them. So that's really important. And for our final question, how could you have personally have benefited from having more mentorship and support as a young person?
Yeah, I mean, I was really fortunate to benefit from some great mentors in my life. I think about my mother, the strength of my mother, who raised 4 kids after my father passed away when I was younger. Right. I mean, I had soccer coaches and basketball coaches who encouraged me to learn and to grow and to improve and how to be a leader. I've had family members who've taught me compassion for others when they're in need. I mean, my mom, on a number of occasions, took people in that we knew that needed help, let them stay in with us for, a number of weeks or months. I have family members that, taught me how to, change the oil in the car or how to build or fix things in our home. And I value and cherish those opportunities. And, but, I realize that not everyone has that same experience, those same opportunities. And, that's why, an organization like DTBY is so important. It's helping ensure that all youth have some opportunities to be mentored and to be inspired and to become, leaders of tomorrow or today. I mean, many young people are such incredible leaders already. So, yeah, I had, like I said, I have been very fortunate in the mentorship that I have had as a young person.
Thank you for sharing that. It was really insightful to who you are and why you choose to give back today. So everything kind of starts from somewhere. So that concludes this episode of DTBY's community podcast. On behalf of the CYC and DTBY, we'd like to thank you so much for joining us today and just supporting youth in your community and creating impact in what you do.
Well, thank you. It was lovely chatting with you, and I very much appreciate the work that you were doing as well.
Thank you. It truly takes a village to support and empower all the leaders of tomorrow, and we can't make an impact alone. So we appreciate everyone like HLF in the community that steps up to make an impact. As we mentioned before, the Halton Learning Foundation will be joining us at our community resource fair prior to Youth Inspired Community Day on November 5th. I strongly encourage anyone aged 14 to 24 to register for this event today. You don't want to miss out on the opportunity to be inspired and build community.